Welcome to GameRomp Easy Mode. Chill, easygoing podcast talking about video games.
Yeah, with us.
Yeah. My name's Deanna and...
I'm David.
Yeah.
We are married and talking about the games we play.
Yeah,
again.
We want to be really specific about it. It's been 19 years now. Not marriage, just together in general. But it's still pretty good. 19 years.
And funny enough, we don't always play a bunch of games together, even though we have been lately.
Who'da thunk it?
Sometimes we just play next to each other or just different games, obviously. I mean, we have different tastes, so...
Yeah, clearly.
It doesn't always align. But we have been playing a lot of Minecraft lately, together.
So much Minecraft.
I thought you were enjoying it, but...
I was. It's just... Come on, you know how I work, right? I enjoy it crazily for like a couple of days and then...
No, I mean, I get that. I too... I mean, there was a few days ago, I was like, oh god, I don't know what else to do in Minecraft, and...
That's the tough part.
I was getting kind of bored, and you were like, oh, well, you should do this or that or whatever, and you were like surprised or exasperated with me. But like now you're the one that's getting...
Opposite. Yeah.
And I mean, I understand because I'm also to the point where I'm like, I don't know what else to do. I got the farm set up, the house set up. I can just decorate the house. I don't know. Maybe the farm setting up the way I did was kind of boring or annoying.
The farm was different. You definitely want to go more for the factory farming of like, hey, let's bulldoze this whole prairie and like make this whole wheat field or something.
Yeah, I thought that would be fun because like one of the mods that's in the mod pack was like little automobiles, and you can make like a tractor, and it has a plowing attachment. And what I really liked is you could just drive over things. It would harvest and automatically replant, so it was so easy.
Yeah.
But then after I made it and I've used it for a bit, I was like, I don't know.
Almost too easy?
I don't know if it's too easy or if it's just... It does lose a bit of its magic, a bit, I guess. It's like, it's not like Stardew Valley anymore. Now it's just...
Which is funny because Stardew Valley also has a tractor mod, but...
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's... I don't know if you'd count it as famous, but it's pretty high up there in the mod downloads list.
I don't know. Maybe I'll make one big long field of like one cash crop and then turn the other one back into like little plots of many different things.
I mean, if that's what you want.
Then again, I guess it doesn't matter for you because you've been feeling away.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe for shits and giggles, I'll stay in the same world. That way I can always come back. But I'm thinking maybe I'll find a little spot in like the woods because I don't know. There's just... You've seen that picture I've had on Pinterest for a while, right? It kind of looks like one of the houses that would be built and banished.
Sure.
Well, anyways, there's this picture, a lot of pictures on Pinterest.
Yeah.
And there's just one I've been like, oh my god, I just really, really, really want that. So I might just go off to like, I'm sure there's a ton of woods nearby that I can look at.
There definitely is, yeah.
Yeah. So I'll just go into one of those real quick and see what I kind of do on my own, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Although the building the roof is going to be a pain in the ass because I did the ranch, partial of the ranch.
Oh yeah, the barn house.
Yeah. And it looks fine inside. It's just trying to figure out how to make the outside look okay.
I think the outside looks fine too. You just need to put a roof on it.
Yeah, I know. And the Cobblemon AI is a little goofed, I guess.
Well,
there's certain, like the Cillipede thing you have, he always gets stuck like on the top of the PC. Tauros and Mudbray always get stuck in that little watering hole we gave them.
I think it's just...
And I don't understand why.
It's just a Minecraft thing, because a lot of the animals get stuck on like trees and just spin around on like certain blocks.
I mean, maybe. I don't know if it's like the Minecraft AI or the Cobblemon AI, but either way, they get stuck. And it doesn't make any sense. Like at first I thought, oh, they got stuck because they were in the watering hole and maybe they just couldn't get up on the block. So I put the slabs in there so that it should be automatic, but they're still stuck. And it's always the same corner. I don't understand, so it's weird. Those poor dumb Pokemons.
Yeah.
And I think I need to stop trying to get the egg, because it's not a big deal, and it's just replicating the Pokemon we have, and like I'm not trying to breed them.
Yeah. Is there a way to stop it from making eggs? Because we have too many now.
I think if you just keep the egg in there, it won't actually make any more.
Yeah,
So I need to stop picking them up.
I hatched a Farfetch'd and is like, oh, I like Farfetch'd, but it's level 1 and grinding levels in this is really annoying. I wish there was like an XP share.
It almost... No, there actually is. If you go into the tutorial section thing, some of the... I think you have to beat like certain number of Pokemon and then you should unlock an XP share item.
Oh, like a held item.
Yeah.
But like I want XP share like how it is in the modern games where it just is automatic.
Yeah, but I don't know, like I've fought quite a few of those Cobblemon and like one quick battle and they can evolve like twice. It doesn't seem like it's too big of a thing. Also, if you go spelunking in the caves, if you find all those like urns and stuff, they usually have the XP candies or whatever they're called.
I haven't really done much cave stuff. I just been working on the ranch, the house, the farm,
Well,
the machines. It feels like, yeah, it's like every time I think about playing, it's like, oh, I could do a lot of stuff. I could redo the factory house because it burned down a little bit.
Oopsies.
Maybe set up like a automatic tree farm thing where I can just get a bunch of charcoal, which would be handy.
See, I guess I'm the weirdo because, like, I feel like adding all those automatic things to a certain degree is just kind of like... Well, like you said with the tractor, it kind of ruins the magic.
Yeah, I mean, true. I guess, like...
Although I will say that update to the cabinets or the chest that you did was really good.
Yeah, there was one of the mods is like a... I forget what it's called, but...
I think it's like Tom's Simple Storage or something?
Maybe,
Or is it part with
yeah.
that with Krieg?
No, it's a separate thing, yeah. But basically had to build a special chest box, and then you build a controller that attaches to it, and then I added a crafting box addition to that, so like 3 steps, and that made it so that any chest connected to that was all one big inventory that you could look at from one space. And not only that, but it has like the little book where if you click it, it just gives you a list of everything you can currently craft, which is great because with this mod,
there's so much stuff.
Yeah, and a bunch of furniture too that like I would have never even thought to like try to make, but now that it's just there, it's like you can make this. I like made a little table and like a dining room table basically.
Yeah, that was pretty cute.
And that's the only thing I did. I think I also did like a wall shelf with like some plants on it, but you could just go crazy building decorations.
Yeah, and then I started trying to make a kitchen because, like, it's difficult for me because on one hand I do like the controller item that it'll just take all the items from all those boxes and tell you what you can make, which does make things simpler, obviously. But at the same time, I feel like, oh, we got this house, so I want to build up the kitchen aesthetically, if you will. So I built a fridge, and in that fridge, you put all the food that would be in a fridge.
Yeah.
For the most part. There's also, like, the silly things like bread is in the fridge, even though bread would be, like, on the counter or in a cupboard or something. But then I have the 3 counters, and I was like, okay, this house is kind of dark and dark red. I want to bring some color to it, so I chose, like, the pink one, because otherwise you get, like, the green, and then there's a blue, and I don't know, like there's light pastel colors, but it feels like it would be hard to mix those other pastels with this red. So I'm like, well, red, pastel pink, I don't know. Then I put a stove in there, and I built some of the tools, so we have like a tea kettle, and you can make the herbal recipes in there. Then there's the cooking pot, which for some reason only does an animation. It doesn't seem to cook anything in there, but it's cute. There was the rolling pin, but I think that's literally just a weapon. It doesn't seem to apply itself to anything like the cutting board would. And the other thing was, I believe it might have been a pan or something. Something like that, I don't know. And you can make like breads and stuff in it.
Oh yeah, I know. Or
was that the stove?
I made a flour with the wheat, because like okay, in vanilla Minecraft you just take 3 wheat and make a bread straight from that. But with the mod you can like take the wheat, grind it into flour, and like triple your output, I guess, in a way.
Then add a bucket of water. Yeah,
that's kind of a pain because it's like, does it use up the water? Like I don't want to have to go out and refill my water bucket every time.
Yeah, I think
we might have to. It's gotta be an easier way.
We'll have to figure out something for that.
Is there like a sink you can build, maybe?
I think there are sinks, because I built the cauldron, but that only holds like one thing of water.
Yeah.
So, but the kitchen is slowly getting there. It's like you got this area and this is where you make food.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you build the carpenter shop out in the backyard or something, and that's where you go to work with wood. You build the blacksmith, that's where you work with all the, you know, ores and metals and the jewels and stuff like that. And that's where you make the tools and stuff. It's just like, I want these little sections, you can decorate them and they have their purpose. So like, oh, I need wood, where do I go? You go to the carpenter section.
I guess, but then like it's kind of nice just to have all the wood and all the metal like in the big connected chest so that you can just not struggle like, oh, where did I put this one piece of thing that I need, and have to go over there and grab it, and like then you go back and run to the thing and it's like, oh, I didn't grab enough, or I only grabbed this kind and I actually need this kind too. It's like, oh god. That
is true. But what I was thinking, and maybe I'll try experimenting this out when I build my little cabin in the woods, if you will. You could set up that area and have it look aesthetically pleasing, and then go underneath in the ground and connect the boxes maybe that way with like the tubes and stuff.
Yeah.
And then you can have like the one central section or something.
I was gonna try that with the chest that contains the ores, because sometimes I'll be like, oh, I need like gold and it's not in this chest, but I know there's a bunch where we have the smelting.
The alloy machines.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I gotta run all the way over there because it's like on the other side of the property, basically. Having that, even that would take up a lot of pipes to get to the house, so I might even consider moving it. I don't know. I also don't really like how my factory is right now. It's connected to that cool that cobblestone waterway that, you know, brings the water out of the mountain and flushes it down.
Oh, the aqueduct.
Yeah, aqueduct. It like pushes the water down from the mountain and like over a little waterfall onto the water wheel, and that would connect to the machine factory place. But I gotta clean that up too because that's a mess. And
unfortunately, yes,
I'm gonna probably remove that like cobblestone generating thing because like I don't know.
I think we have enough iron.
Yeah, and it's just a mess. It's just too weird. I'd rather have like the 3 or 4 machines easily accessible that we may need, and just manually load them instead of dealing with all this like belts and stuff.
Agreed.
So I'll probably end up fixing that and fix the building that burnt down.
Half burnt down.
So I guess all that's saying is like technically with this current Minecraft world, I feel like I could still keep busy and have fun just twiddling around and twinking? Is that the word?
Tweaking.
Twinking is something else. Tweaking the machines and the layouts and all that stuff. So, I mean, I guess I feel like I could still play, but I'm also at the point where I'm like, after that, I don't know what else I would really want to do. I don't feel like I want to go bother with the nether too much. I went in there for a bit just to get like a few things that I needed to make the chest stuff, and that was so annoying.
I still haven't actually visited that at all.
Because, like, okay, when I played way back in the day, like, the nether had the zombie pigmen and those, like, ghasts.
Yeah.
And I guess they had the blaze things. But now there's, like, a bunch of new stuff, too. Like, there's non-zombified pigmen. And there's wither skeletons. And it's like, oh my god, there's so much shit. And I just kept dying.
And also, like, we don't know how much, or do you know if that stuff is vanilla added? Or is that, like, mod added? We just don't know which mod.
Well, I know the non-zombie pigmen are vanilla, and the wither skeletons are also vanilla. I don't think I ran into any modded monsters. Even in the overall, I don't think this mod adds monsters besides Pokemon.
Okay.
I mean, it adds some animals, but I wouldn't call them as monsters. It's not like there are mod packs that add a bunch of monsters and dungeons and like adventure stuff, but I think this one's relatively vanilla as far as hostile mobs go.
Now, the pigmen, you said there's non-zombified pigmen. Are they just as neutral as
the non-zombie versions are hostile. The zombie versions are neutral.
Okay, well, I guess that brings me into a slightly new topic, but we saw the second Minecraft trailer.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know if it was... I think it might have been that one where it showed the very angry pigmen.
That's
them, but that was weird. Yeah, because when I last went into the nether, the pigmen were all pretty much neutral unless you hit them, and then they like lost their shit.
Yeah, because those were the zombie pigmen, but the ones in the movie and the new ones that they added into vanilla I think they're called peglins or something, and they're pigmen, but they're also hostile.
Now that's so weird. I guess it's supposed to be like usually it's the zombies that are like so I guess this is like reversing the trope or something.
I guess, yeah, in a way.
But it's like they should have just kept him neutral. It's like,
I guess they wanted Nether to be more challenging.
Ugh, I guess. But like just trying to get past all the lava shit was challenging.
I think there's a trick to it I'm not 100% sure if this is right, but I seem to remember the idea that if you wear gold armor,
they won't attack you?
Yeah. Something about that, and you can like trade gold with them and they'll give you stuff too. But if you haven't like neutralized them in that sense, they will just attack you on sight.
Well, I guess that would give some purpose to golden armor and tools.
Yeah.
Because it's usually useless, right? Because it's too malleable. It's not like other games where somehow gold is like top tier stuff.
And then you still have to worry about the wither skeletons, because those are just going to be hostile.
Yeah, that makes sense.
At least they're melee.
Although I don't think I've seen wither skeleton. I mean, I haven't been in the Nether.
Then again, I say at least they're melee, but I feel like ranged enemies are easier to deal with. Like when the pillagers attack you, if they have crossbows, they're super easy to deal with. But if you run into one with like an axe, it's harder because you can't really block them too well. I don't know. Oh, whatever. We also got the Pokemon, but they can be kind of hit or miss when it comes to protecting you.
My Pokemon seem to do okay, but I usually have to attack the other mob first or get hit by the mob.
Oh yeah, there was that one time I was in the Nether and I saw like the sword Pokemon. I forget the name of it. But it's like, oh, it's that sword thing. I want to try to catch it. And as I'm fighting it, I get attacked by a wither skeleton.
Yeah, you have to be very careful.
And like when you're in a Pokemon battle, even the other Pokemon you have won't protect you for some reason.
Yeah.
It's really annoying, to be honest. So that was one of my deaths. Wow. Yeah, it was a pretty tedious experience dealing with all that. So I'm not like in a rush to go back to the Nether. It's like I know there's some unique Pokemon in there. I think Onyx lives in there, but
now, that's a weird one. You'd think Onyx would be in the mountains somewhere, but
yeah, well maybe he is too, because I know I've seen Pokemon in the Nether that also exist in the overworld, so there's probably some overlapping. And like Coughing, I saw Coughing in a snow village. And like, okay, I don't know why he would be there, but I guess there's really no like industrial pollution areas in the Minecraft world. Yeah,
that's true. I did find when I went to one of the villages, I found like Growlithe and some other like dog Pokemon, so that made sense.
Yeah, true.
I wanted to get the Growlithe, and then I went back to the boat to get the Pokeballs, and when I came back he was gone, so oopsies. They seem to despawn pretty quickly.
Yeah, I guess they just want to keep refreshing.
Yeah.
I feel like I noticed that too around the house. There's so many Pokemon wandering around. Like I'm trying to farm and set up this farmland, and just a bunch of wild Pokemon just wandering onto the field, stomping on everything.
Well, that's kind of how animals work in real life.
I guess.
Maybe instead of just putting all our Pokemon in the ranch with the fence, although we can keep that obviously, you should... I mean, I guess they would still have a chance of spawning in there, but put a fence around all your crops like real life. And maybe they'll stay out of it. Maybe.
I don't know. I guess we'll see. Like, I kind of like how the farm is now in this sense of like productivity, because we can just make a bunch of emeralds from selling all the stuff. But then again, it's like, what am I gonna buy? Like, I don't really care about the cosmetic stuff.
Plushies and the hats or...
Yeah, and it's like, I don't really care about that. Oh.
Now, as a quick aside, but still Minecraft.
Oh, yeah, we were talking about the movie, huh?
Yeah, so it's weird because, like, a lot of people are, I guess, I don't know if upset is the right term, but seemingly upset.
Yeah.
And I guess they're partially upset because it seems all these big corporations and cinema businesses or whatever, they're doing a lot of live action shit.
Yeah.
And people are just so fucking sick of live action shit. Like, especially with Disney, where they're doing Moana now, I guess, where they're filming for that, and they're like, oh, God, we just don't want this. We just like the animated stuff, which is fair. But as far as, like, the actors and stuff, all I really know is Jack Black. And maybe he's kind of suffering the same thing as The Rock is to a lesser extent, where he's in so much stuff now and he just plays the same character basically.
Yeah, it's there are some actors where you see them playing somebody, but you can't see them as that character. You just see them as who they
Themselves.
are.
Yeah.
And he's definitely that.
Unfortunately, which at least he's got like the comedy bit to him.
Yeah.
The Rock doesn't seem to have that. But it's still like he's in everything. So I understand that. But as far as the movie itself, I don't know. It's like it's a kid's movie, so I'm not expecting anything from it.
Yeah, it's not for us. I don't even know how you would like. Minecraft isn't really a property that I was dying for a media adaptation, anyways. Like, so it was never really for me, anyways.
And I mean, apparently they have like the story-based games of Minecraft. If that's
true.
like what you're into.
I've never played those.
And was it Arlo that was talking about how? I guess Microsoft owns it, but I don't know. I guess someone else is doing the pictures, like the movie stuff. And they're like, oh, we wanted to do something different because we already got these other, I guess, 3D movies or games or something that have a story. So we wanted to make something else completely different. And
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I don't. It's hard to say because while we are playing Minecraft now. And it's sort of interesting maybe to see like the Minecraft mobs in a more quote-unquote realistic 3D style or what have you. I'm not really into movies anyway, so I can't like really pull this movie trailer apart to pieces as people seem to want to do.
I think for me, it's not that it's quote-unquote realistic, because it's really not. It's just that its art style is completely different. I think they wanted to do real-world people in this like CG Minecraft world, but it's not a CG Minecraft world. It's like, it just has a different look altogether. They could have easily still done like live action people with Minecraft looking characters, even if they like spruced them up a bit, you know?
I mean, like the bee is basically a square, and it like, looks how it would be in there, except with like fuzziness.
There was a point in the trailer where he's feeding the wolf a bone, right?
Yeah.
And we had this weird subtitle audio thing on.
Yeah.
And it's like, Steve is feeding a bone to a wolf made out of blocks, but the wolf doesn't look like it was made out of blocks. It's just...
It's blocky-ish.
It's block shaped, but he doesn't look like he's made out of Minecraft blocks anymore. It's like the art style is too different, in my opinion. But again, it doesn't really matter. It isn't made for us. Just like the Mario movie, honestly. Like, I don't feel like that Mario movie, the new one, was made for, adults, obviously. But...
yeah, they're going after the kids, and that's fine.
And that's just, like, I guess what kids like. We don't have kids, but I would imagine, like, if you sat down a 3 or 4 or 5-year-old, and in one room you had the old Rugrats, the old 2D Rugrats that we grew up with, and in the other room you had the new 3D Rugrats that is made, like, for them now, which one are they going to gravitate towards?
I mean, I guess it kind of depends on their upbringing, because if they have parents where they just let them watch YouTube Kids or Netflix Kids, then yeah, they're gonna probably go towards the 3D stuff already. But maybe you have some millennial parents out there that are raising their kids on the older stuff.
Maybe. And then there are cartoons like Bluey. Bluey is still 2D.
Yeah, so I guess it all depends on, I don't know, it's gonna be a crapshoot, whatever the kid actually wants. Or maybe the kid gravitates to the 2D style because it's not like 3D like everything else.
Maybe. I mean, to me, I see the 2D as more expressive and lively, but like as a kid, this is a question that's impossible for us to answer, obviously, because we don't have the kids, but I just wonder what they think in their minds, like, oh, this is just better, or this looks more fun. So I wonder, like, if Minecraft did make a movie that was a little more, I don't know, lo-fi, for lack of a better word, where it didn't use this weird, like, high fidelity 3D models for, like, these wolves and the skeletons and everything, would the kids like it as much? Because kids watch Minecraft shit on YouTube all the time. I think, okay, another side thought here, but, like, even in our mod pack, we have like the better animations mod, right?
Yeah.
And so the villagers and the pillagers and the vanilla mobs like the cows and the sheeps, they have like more expressive faces.
Yeah.
I think even something like that in the movie with live action would be fine. But I wonder like if people would see that and be like, this is lazy. Because I think
I guess it also depends on like, I mean, they have the other Minecraft animation games where the characters are a bit more detailed.
Yeah.
So I guess it would depend kind of what those worlds already look like. Maybe theirs is a little bit higher fidelity than actual Minecraft as well.
And could that work in a movie with live action humans interacting with those cartoon characters?
I don't see why not.
I mean, I agree. That's what I feel like.
I mean, we've had live action people with 2D characters since like the fucking 50s, right?
I don't know when they first did that. I know the first big one that I remember as a kid was Roger Rabbit.
Yeah, but even still, there was older movies than that had characters reacting with humans and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it would work. I just wonder, like, if kids, if the marketing would be slightly better.
I think kids would accept anything. It's just what the higher ups think kids want.
True.
And higher ups don't know what anyone wants.
Yeah, like the Sonic movie. It's like, oh, we can't just make it the Sonic, so we have to do this like more realistic looking monster.
Yeah,
and I think Minecraft is kind of getting that too. Like they've made their world look just gross somehow. I don't know. That's too harsh. I think the environments look fine, but there's just something about the characters that to me feels so generic and boring. But again, I guess what matters more is what kids will think or what the parents will think.
As long as it's safe enough for the parents, yeah, whatever.
It'll be interesting to see how this does. I mean,
I'm sure it'll do fine.
It also feels like they probably could have just done more kids. Sorry, if they would have put more kids in the movie.
Actually, yeah, that's a good point too. Because, like, okay, I get Jack Black, and you know he's high comedy and he's goofy and kid-like. I kind of get that. It almost kind of feels like Jumanji again. Like they had the old Jumanji. I think there's like a newer one, and it had like the old Robin Williams, and he comes back, and then there were the two kids and stuff. But yeah, now this has
the two other adults. I mean, even
Jack
Black.
I don't know what the lady is. I don't know who she is, and I only know the other guy from like memes online.
I don't know who that other guy. I don't.
Jason Momoa, I think, or something.
I just find the three adults in the movie to be so off-putting. Like they don't. It doesn't feel like.
Why are they hanging out with kids? That's weird.
I don't know. It just there's just something off about them. Like in this movie, in the trailer or whatever. I see them and it feels like a hello kids or hello fellow kids kind of thing for all three of them. They feel like they don't fit.
Yeah, at least with Jack Black, okay, he would be the one, I guess, the character to fill in for parents that has to go see this movie as well. Because it's going to be like adult humor kind of snuck in.
Yeah, but you don't necessarily have to have Jack Black to do that.
No, but I think he appeals to both adults.
I wonder.
I don't know.
Clearly he's not appealing because, the reception has not been great. I mean, I generally like Jack Black, but I don't think he is great in this, to be honest. But I don't know. Maybe when it comes to streaming, we'll watch it and we'll see. But this is definitely one of those movies where I'm like, I don't care. I don't want to see this. And I felt that way about the Mario movie, too, to be honest. I'm like, I don't really want to see this.
Maybe you're just a cranky old man.
I mean,
whereas,
obviously.
like, I can be, like... I don't have an opinion one way or another, but because I'm not into movies like other people seem to be. It's just like, okay, I'll watch it if someone wants me to, like, if you want me to, and I'll just enjoy it for what it is. But
it's funny, because you were the one that wanted to see the new Sonic 2 movie more than I did.
I guess, because, like, the first one was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
And now they got the new one coming out.
With Shadow. So. And, like, that's an interesting one, too, because if you would have told me as a kid, hey, there's going to be a Sonic the Hedgehog movie, and Robotnik is going to be played by Jim Carrey, the guy from Ace Ventura and The Mask, I would have been like, you're fucking crazy, shut the hell up. But it happened and it worked. and he's coming back for more, so good for him, I guess.
Actually, yeah, I think the best part of the movie is Sonic is okay. He can be cute at times. But definitely the Jim Carrey parts seem to be the best. Like, he came out of fucking retirement to do this because, like, I guess his grandson's really into Sonic or something. So he's like, okay, I have to be in this movie because my grandson fucking loves it. And he's the best part of this movie franchise. I don't care about the other human people.
Yeah.
I just like Robotnik, and Sonic's voice is really good.
Yeah, the voice actor for Sonic is good, and I mean, I guess Tails was fine, and the some of the stuff with Knuckles was kind of fun.
Knuckles in the movie was fine. Knuckles in the TV show, that sucked.
I think Knuckles in the TV show was fine too, because he's still that like
Knuckles himself is fine, but the
TV show itself was kind of dumb.
Yeah. It had more to do with the humans, and like,
Yeah.
I don't care about the fucking humans.
Yeah.
Like, the best part of the TV show was when Knuckles was like communicating with one of his elder ghost people, and then he was like more corporeal or something, and then he was trying to leave the attic, and he, like, that was fucking funny.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that part. But all the stuff with the people is just like, the people were super cringe. I don't want that.
Yeah.
I just want Sonic and Tails and Knuckles and eventually Shadow. I want their interactions.
I wonder, like, that's another one where, again, I guess it just wasn't for us, right? But did the kids like it? It doesn't seem like anyone really liked it, but it would be interesting to know if there were, like, kids that, like, yeah, the Knuckles TV show was great, and it's one of my favorites, and, like, in 20 years, they're gonna be so nostalgic about it and watching it again, like how we would watch, like, Rocco or something.
Yeah.
That's really a sad thought to have, but whatever.
Every generation has their thing.
Yeah, I mean, true. Oof.
I mean, I'm sure, like, our parents or grandparents, because I was half brought up by my grandparents at that point, they probably looked at the TV shows we were watching back in the day, and either they thought, oh, this is cringy, although I guess we didn't call it that back in the day.
No,
or, like, maybe Rocco was too, like, body horror gross.
I think it was different back when we were kids, because, like, everything was still so new. Ren and Stimpy was new. Rugrats was new. Rocco was new. Whereas, like, with this stuff now, it's like, oh, this is Sonic. This is a property that's been forever. This is the
They're
Ninja
just
Turtles.
rehashing everything.
This is the Ninja Turtles again, except this is like the 6th generation or whatever, and now Donatello wears glasses or whatever. It's different, because, like, when I was a kid, Ninja Turtles, this is basically the first one on TV. Sure, there was the comic, but nobody really knew about that, right? At least back then. Whereas now, when people are watching stuff with their kids, it's like, oh, this is Rugrats Part 2 or 3, I guess, because, you know, they had all grown up, and now we're back to babies, except it's 3D. It feels more cynical, I guess you could say. Is that the word I'm looking for?
Cyclical?
No.
Where it's just like, it's rehashing.
I mean, yeah, cyclical too, but, like, cynical. Like, the companies are like, we have this IP, and instead of coming up with a new show,
we're just going to regurgitate it.
Yeah. And I mean, I guess that's also unfair, because there are new shows that we don't talk about. Like, and
it's a new generation, so obviously they're not probably going to be exposed to the old things.
But could they be?
Could they? Yes, probably.
Think about
absolutely.
this. Like, when we were kids, at least I was watching a lot of Looney Tunes.
Yeah, that was.
And those were so old, even when I was a kid, and I loved them. But they don't do that anymore, I don't think. They'll make new Looney Tunes, and they've made, like, new Mickey Mouse shorts or whatever, but they don't really show the old stuff for some reason. And
it depends. I mean, Disney has their streaming platform. Maybe they have all their old stuff on there.
Also, like, Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo was pretty old when I was a kid, but we would still watch the old Scooby-Doo. Eventually, they did start making new ones, like the Scooby-Doo as, like, a puppy or whatever, and they were kids, and I didn't really like that.
Scrappy-Doo?
No, there was a young version of Scooby-Doo in the kids.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
And now they're making, like, new Scooby-Doo stuff. But there was a time when we were kids, like, they were like, you know what, we're just going to show these old 60 cartoons and the old Looney Tunes and even, like, the Flintstones and stuff.
Maybe it's because we're moving to streaming services instead of cable, because cable will... Even now, the only access I have to cable is when I go over to Grandma's house, because that's all she uses for entertainment. they have such an overabundance of channels that one channel will basically be the like Roseanne streaming channel. That's all they basically play.
Yeah.
Another one will be like, oh, let's do Two and a Half Men for like 5 hours straight.
Yeah.
Whereas with streaming, they just have to keep redoing things, because if they don't, like, I mean, the whole thing with Netflix even is like, we're gonna make this new show, and if it doesn't go viral in the first month, we're gonna fucking cancel everything and burn it down.
Back in the TV is like, you just watch what's on.
Yeah, just accept it, whatever.
But like, even for streaming, like, some of the most popular shows are still like Friends and Seinfeld. So I wonder, like, I don't know. I don't know the magic number here with all these old shows, but it does feel kind of sad that, like, I've tried. This is gonna sound stupid, but like, I'm not trying to take this personally or whatever. Like, but like, when they make the new Rugrats 3D show, it's like, did you really have to? Is like the old Rugrats not good enough? I don't quite understand. Like, you're spending so much money to make this new version of Rugrats, but like, you could just show the old one and like market that, right? But do kids just not like that old stuff? I guess, I don't know.
I mean, and here's my little tangent. It's kind of like that Coke AI commercial they pushed out.
Oh, that's a whole, other issue, but yeah.
But the thing is like, that whole AI thing is just regurgitating their old commercials. So
True.
Just play the old commercials.
Yeah.
It would have been cheaper.
It would have been cheaper, and like, we wouldn't have cared. We would have still liked it. Like, it's like the Hershey's, right? The Hershey's has their little commercial where the
ringing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's been playing for what, fucking 50 years or more, and it's just, yeah,
it's fine.
It's the commercial
it's
of
nostalgic.
Christmas.
And for people who is not nostalgic about it, they'll see it and they're not gonna.
It'll be new for them.
This new AI version of the Coca-Cola commercial, it doesn't serve anybody. It's just garbage.
Yeah, it's gross. Although they did say that, like, and I'll have to show this to Mom and ask her how she feels, and maybe ask Mike and stuff. But they said there's like a high chance that like the older generation is going to see it and not realize that it's AI.
Oh, that's absolutely true. Because if you go on Facebook, you see so much AI shit, and
it's really concerning.
There's the super stupid obvious stuff, like, oh, Shrimp Jesus, or like, this kid in Africa built like the Mona Lisa out of tin cans. Wow. But then there's also like slightly less obvious things that you have to look for. Like, one of the ones I've seen on Facebook was like, oh, this abandoned place, and it's just like this Victorian house. Or there's one I think I showed you, it was like this abandoned New England village, and it's kind of flooded and in ruins, and there's a sunken ship in it, and it looks so pretty. But then you look at it and you read the article that it's attached to. It's like, it's never specific about where it is, and just like kind of vague about everything. And then you see the pictures and it's a little too clean for being in the ruins or whatever.
Or it's got that AI softness.
People just eat it up anyways. And a lot of people don't think about it. It's like, oh, where is this? It's so beautiful. I want to explore. And then there are people in there like, this is AI, this is AI, this is AI. So it's like kind of half and half, maybe a little less than half and half, with most people just not really giving it much thought.
And it's so weird too, especially with the like, oh, this New England town ruins. Like, there are actual New England town ruins that we have documentation of. Why are we creating this fake stuff?
Because you can make it more picturesque, I guess.
Ugh, but then that's the whole point.
And like, more, I don't know, fantastical. Because sure, there are some ruins, but like a whole village that is in quote unquote decay or ruin, and yet still magically all still up and colorful. It's like the kind of thing that in these pictures just can't exist, because if it was real ruins, a lot of it would have fallen down already, or a lot of the color would have faded, or somebody would have vandalized it, you know?
Okay, I get the like vandalization part, but everything else, that's the entire aesthetics of an abandoned area.
Yeah, but there's also a limit to how much an abandoned area can like scale out and still be up. Like, a whole town, a whole main street, it's also flooded, and yet there's no water damage and nothing is collapsing. Like, it's just, yeah, it's like, it's really pretty, but it's obviously not real, and some people just don't care, or they don't know, or maybe both. I don't know.
This is so weird. I don't know.
It's tough too, because like, I still think right now AI isn't great, and it's a danger to a lot of people's livelihoods. But it's going to happen, and people are still going to plug away at it. And in 50 years or 40 years or 60 years, whatever the number is, people are going to be able to just type in their prompt like they're on the freaking Star Trek holodeck, and it's going to be amazing. And then it's kind of hard to be like, oh, AI should stop and we should fight against it. And maybe for some things, yeah, but like, I don't know. I feel like it's a losing battle, and eventually it's going to get to the point where it's going to be pretty amazing to be able to be like, you know what? I'm back from working in the freaking crypto mines or whatever the hell in 50 years. And I just want to plug in and be like, Aspen Forest, misty, no bears, no mosquitoes, just me and my AI hot girlfriend, I guess. And just put on my VR headset and I get to walk through this VR forest, and it's beautiful. There's some cool ruins that are absolutely amazing to look at and will be totally safe to walk into. I won't step on like rusty nails or get hit in the head. And like the AI will just create it in 3D and it'll be amazing. Oh, and also because of course AI and 3D shit, you plug in your, I want to be doing this with my waifu Chie or whatever. And people are going to be like eating that shit up.
Oh God, maybe
it's like broccoli. Remember broccoli in Star Trek? It's like I want my date with Deanna Troi in the forest, and he's gonna go in there and edge for hours, and everyone else is like, broccoli, get the fuck out of there. This is weird. You can't do this shit.
I believe the kids these days call it gooning, but yeah.
So
this just sounds dystopian to me. I'm sorry.
It is, but like, I mean, think about Star Trek. They had that is basically the holodeck, right?
Yeah, but at least they had the excuse that they were in fucking space and actually couldn't get to the woods. You can get to the woods. You can go outside and touch grass. You don't have to do it in VR.
True, but also it depends where you live. Like, if we lived back in suburban Florida, we could drive to the certain parks or whatever, but there is a limit to what you can do. And think about like, oh, I'm in, the USA. What if I want to visit like, I don't know, the Great Wall of China or something?
I guess, I don't know.
It's one of those things where like AI right now is scary, not great, problematic, but they're going to keep plugging away because capitalism. It's just going to keep happening. And eventually it's going to get to the point where more and more people are like, this is cool. I'm not going to think about the problematic parts. Or maybe, we have more green energy, so that's okay. And in the future, it just might be way better. It will be way better. And like, it's going to happen. It's just a matter of, are we going to be alive and around to experience it and see it? And like, I don't know, man.
Probably not. I just want to get lost in the woods.
It's interesting to think of it. And you could with the VR stuff.
No, if I want fake woods, I'm just going to go into Minecraft. Otherwise, I want the actual woods. I mean, just sit there and just whatever.
I agree. I love going to the park and hiking around with you and stuff. But also, I guess, we only have so many trails around here. What if you could just plug in, I want to visit the Japanese forest with all those like torii gates and like go up the mountains there, and don't worry about the bears because they're either super cuddly and friendly in VR or just don't exist. Or if you're like some anime nerd, they're just all replaced with big titty anime girls.
Oh, God. Oh, that's gross. And here I thought we were a chill video game podcast, and we're just like being very not chill about AI shit.
I don't know. You can be chill and horny at the same time if you want to. Just do it in your own private space, which, VR will be. I'd rather see, people gooning in the privacy of their own home than running around the forest in real life doing that stuff.
Do you have a different topic we could talk about?
I'm sorry. I guess it got too adult rated there.
No, I don't mind that stuff. It's just like, I don't know. I don't want to think about the dystopian aspect of it. That's all.
I mean, I guess it's dystopian, but I also feel like it could be really cool someday. Because, like, I mean, think when we play, like, Skyrim, and people do already experience Skyrim in VR.
That's true.
But, like, there's a limitation to that as well, because it's always going to be Skyrim at the end of the day. And Lydia is always going to be like, I'm sworn to carry your burdens, instead of actually having a conversation with you, right?
Yeah.
So AI can maybe one day do stuff with that. Or even like, imagine you are in like a Riverwood or whatever, and you want to go chop down a tree. in Skyrim right now, you can't really do that. The engine doesn't handle it. But maybe you could clear cut Riverwood if you want to be some weirdo, right? Or go fishing and like actually have to deal with every aspect of like catching the fish and like preparing it to eat. Then again, why would you want to do that in VR? That's one thing.
Well,
like, unless you're replicating food like in Star Trek, I don't think I want to do VR food stuff. That just sounds frustrating.
well, I can see if like someone still has the desire to go fishing and clean their kill and stuff like that without wanting to actually hurt an animal.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I've had the desire to go hunting and stuff, but I don't want to do it in real life.
Yeah, you seem to like the hunting games too.
I've done the hunting games before, yeah. Because it's not real, so I don't feel bad about having to shoot the deer and miss its heart, and so it's going to stagger around for like an hour and slowly die.
Or like in Red Dead, like you can basically do bird watching in Red Dead. You could just,
I guess I don't know if I actually bird watched. Like, I did the hunting, but...
Yeah, because if you take out the binoculars and like look at an animal and study it, Arthur will
actually
draw it in his journal and stuff. Yeah, I forget if like there's descriptions and stuff. I think there's like an in-game encyclopedia too, so when you do see a squirrel or a whatever bird, not only will Arthur draw it, but then you can go into the in-game UI encyclopedia and like read up information about it or something. So
maybe
Red
I
Dead,
did and I just forgot about it.
yeah, I mean, it's been a while since we played that, but Red Dead 2 was just like, it was also just not just cowboys shooting people, but also just nature exploring stuff, which I liked a lot more. I wish I could just mod that game to be a little more peaceful and less gun shooty stuff. I mean, I don't mind the gun shooty stuff. It just gets tedious and excessive, especially in the story when you're just shooting up like a militia's worth of army men.
Yeah, that's true.
But just wandering around on horseback and seeing all the animals, oh god, that game is so good about that.
That was a very, very pretty game.
That is another game where like VR possibly could be amazing, but then like you could probably enhance it with AI. Like imagine going into the town and being able to have a conversation with the shopkeeper instead of just hearing the same old lines over and over again, I guess.
Do you think that would be more of a priority for people than, and I'm assuming it would be, than actually getting that VR stuff where you're like on the treadmill and actually have to walk around and stuff?
I don't know.
Because like I feel like the AI stuff and having different conversations, yeah, I kind of get that. But it's going to take us a good long while to actually get the physical aspects of like touching things in the VR world and feeling it back and stuff like that.
Definitely. That's a whole other user interface that would have to be invented and dealt with.
I mean, they're slowly working on it, I guess.
Like smell-o-vision.
Oh, jeez.
So yeah, that's a whole other thing. But like, at least with the constraints that we have now playing with a controller or a keyboard, you could still add things to the game with AI, like the conversations. I know there's a mod that like you can plug into Skyrim where AI will generate text for you to have a conversation with the NPCs. And ultimately it's, very basic and can be kind of dumb. But it's a start, so who knows what it'll be like in 20, 30 years. And if somebody's developing a game specifically with that in mind to like plug in a bunch of dialogue and like train the AIs to be like, this is how this character should act.
I actually think that's how Campfire's working right now.
I don't know what that is.
So Campfire, I think that's the whole name, is like the Animal Crossing, but all the animals are hooked up to AI stuff.
Oh, gotcha.
And you can say basically anything to them and they'll basically reply back.
The question is it any good?
It's half and half from what I've experienced, because yes, you can reply to them and they already kind of have their own personalities, but there's just something, I don't know, it's still slightly off.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call it quite the uncanny valley aspect, but it's more like, because there's seemingly not much story behind them, it's just whatever.
That is an interesting point too, though, because like Animal Crossing in general, especially the new one on the Switch, like, I
mean, they have been getting worse over the years. I think like the older versions are better, but
it gets to the point where you just know what they're going to say, and it's like, I don't want to talk to these guys anymore because they're just going to say the same things over and over again. So AI in a game like that would be really good. Or
I
like,
guess, but it feels like they have personality, but it just feels different. I don't know how to explain it.
well, I mean, yeah, obviously right now it's not in the place it needs to be. And like you could look at other, could you combine like the Stardew Valley or Harvest Moon aspect with the Animal Crossing thing, where like Animal Crossing, you ideally will be getting like new conversations every day, but then like the Stardew Valley, you get like unlock new conversations and stories the more they like you. So like if you could combine those two somehow together.
Maybe one day, but generating stories out of quote unquote thin air is going to be a lot harder.
Well, that's the thing. Like the developer would generate the stories, would write the stories and the story beats and what happens. Like Shane is always going to be fighting his alcoholism or whatever. That wouldn't be something that the AI decides, but they would write the story, and then like the AI could like, you have to present this, but you can like still answer. You can ask like Shane, well, okay, what can we drink or what can we eat that you won't feel the urge to drink or whatever, you know, whatever conversation you want to have. And then the AI could be like reply to that, basing it on the profile and all the like stuff that the developers put in there.
Until the AI takes Shane's story and literally throws him off the cliff instead.
I mean, who knows? That would be interesting in a way too. Just like every playthrough could be different. And if you want to be a monster, like I guess you could like manipulate, like, oh, I want to see what happens if I tell, hey, Shane, you know what? One more drink, man. It ain't going to be so bad.
Okay. Or you give like a beer to Pam before she drives the bus
Oh
and
my
get
God.
into a crash and die and game over.
So yeah, it's interesting because obviously that AI Animal Crossing game is like so basic, but I can see where a game like Animal Crossing could benefit from it because holy cow, I'm tired of talking to those animals.
Yeah, that's
It's just gonna take forever to get to the point where it's good. But there's also people who pay money to have those AI girlfriends on those mobile games.
that's a whole other can of worms we should not be opening right now.
I guess, but it's just clearly for some people, it is worth the money and it is good enough that they will pay for it. So if it can be good enough that people are paying for it, could it be good enough to be in other games? I don't know because I've never tried those, so I can't say, but it's interesting to think about because some games could benefit from it. Even like Fallout, Skyrim, RPGs were like, oh, this random Joe you meet in town, like he has one thing to say. He's a one-note character. Like the guy in Diamond City who marries his robot, right?
Mm.
But that's the end of his story right there. You can't go back and see like what have they been up to. Ask the robot, have you been enjoying being married to a human being? Do you understand what you got yourself into?
Yeah, that's fair.
So,
And it's interesting too because at least for games that have robots like Fallout, you think AI would be able to extend on the stories of say Valentine. And it's funny too because like, you know, going back to Star Trek, like, oh, Data seems like he would be, you know, kind of chill to hang out with if you can handle his personality and stuff like that. Or, oh, I find Valentine attractive because he's like this sleuth and he's intelligent and all this stuff. And yet all this AI stuff is happening and I'm like, I don't want to deal with any of this AI stuff. Like I guess it's not quite to the, obviously the point of Data or even Valentine. But I always thought like, oh, I could hang out with a robot friend like in real life. But then this AI is like, oh, it's happening, it's here. And I'm like, it doesn't feel comfortable.
maybe it's because there's no context to it. Whereas with like Valentine and Data, you don't start watching Star Trek The Next Generation because of Data. Just like
That's
you
true.
didn't start watching Deep Space Nine because of like Garrick or whatever. The first time you see these characters, you're like, whatever, who is this? But they grow on you over time. So that would have to also be like a thing to consider with these characters in games or whatever.
I guess.
So yeah, it's easy to be like, I don't want to just have this AI boyfriend or whatever. But for some people, I guess they do need it that much that they don't care. They're willing to go that first step. Whereas for some people, they might just start playing the new, I don't know, Elder Scrolls 7, and they get to the new town and they find an NPC like, oh, this person's cute, or they made me laugh and I want to talk to them more. And the AI will be there to be like, we can have more conversations than just, hey, stranger, I'm buying potions or whatever. So it'll be interesting to see where AI goes in that regard, even though I know a lot of people are super against AI. And I am too, because, like, I mean, I don't know. It's tough because I'm an artist and it's scary. But for some things, it's just going to. I think it's kind of like trying to fight against the car. It's a losing battle. It's going to happen.
Yeah, but we're always going to be trying to get people to our side as well.
Yeah, so. I mean, obviously try to do it in an ethical way and, like, pay people for work. And, oh, boy, it's a nightmare.
I think the
I can
people
see
that
both
are going to
sides.
hurt us most with not paying artists and stuff are, ironically, the companies that have more money than they know what to do with.
Yeah, for sure.
Whereas maybe there will actually be more people willing to pay a little bit more if they know that, like, this painting was actually painted by a human being and here's the video proving this person painting this painting.
Yeah. I mean, I think I'm already feeling, because this year has been slow for work for me, and I know, like, before I've done some children's books, and now you're seeing a lot of children's books just done with AI, and it's like, how much. Oh man. Anyway, that's, again, more tangents upon tangents, but I guess maybe we should just call it a day.
I think so. And maybe we'll try to make a more happy-go-lucky subject next time. Because I don't know if, like, sadness topics like this count as chill or not.
I don't know. I always view the goal of this podcast is just to not be loud and angry.
Well,
we can have conversations and still be chill about it. And I think that's a good skill to have, because it's sometimes conversations need to be had, and it helps to try to be chill and be able to talk without shouting at each other, which I know can feel impossible, especially lately.
Maybe.
Anyway, on that note, I hope you guys, if you're still here, enjoyed that, or if you fell asleep, hey, that's good too.
Yeah, let us know how you feel about us going maybe on topics that aren't strictly video games or strictly happy.
Yeah, we kind of just rambled all over the place. Like, we went from Minecraft to Minecraft movie and then to AI for some reason. I don't even remember how, but it happens. And that's kind of what the vibe I want, just to be able to chat about anything and go where the conversation leads.
And I guess with that, we'll say our goodbyes now, and we'll see you next week.
Time. Have a good day and night.
And we love you.
Be good to each other.
Bye.
And to yourself. Bye-bye.